too many years ago, any diesel in a manufacturer's lineup would be conspicuous because of the noise that it made and the smoke that it belched and the fact that hardly anybody bought one. These days, any diesel would be conspicuous only by its absence. There's hardly a manufacturer on the planet that doesn't do diesel these days, and being one of the biggest, Volkswagen have a few oil burners, like this Golf 6. It's available either as a 1600 with a TDI gearbox or a 2-litre manual, which is what we have here. Now, most people buy a diesel for the impact it'll make on their wallet, eventually. But if you're wanting a car that makes a visual impact as well, the Golf 6 isn't it. There is that saying the devil is in the details, but in the Golf 6, the devil is in the lack of details. I don't think it's an overly fussy design to begin with, but even the GTI manages a sort of understated aggression and a real sense of standing out from the crowd. The only thing you're likely to do in a crowd in the rest of the range, including the TDI, is blend in. It's not ugly or even unattractive, it just doesn't have much presence. The family face that's so successful on the Sirocco and the new Polo just doesn't seem to give this car the same sort of attention-grabbing ability. It all fits together nicely and there's nothing you'd point out as being bad, but then again, there's not much here that you'd point out as being particularly good either. It's just there. And then there's the interior. There is a word to describe what's going on in here, and it is functional. Everything works well, the materials are good, it's decently put together, and it's got all the basics that you need. But to give you an idea of the scale of boredom, Volkswagen have found 3 shades of black to put in here. Not even a hint of grey. At best, you get a bit of silver at the bottom of the steering wheel and on the gear shift, but on the whole, it's a very uninspiring place to be. As I said, function is what this interior is about, so you have niceties like aircon and a CD player, and an optional multi-function steering wheel. The important stuff like decent space and comfortable seats comes as standard. Even the rear passengers get a whiff of comfort. The diesel motor is a 2-litre 4-cylinder with 103 kilowatts and 320 newton meters. It pushes the 1300 kilogram Golf from 0 to 100 in 9.3 seconds and on to a top speed of 209. A 6-speed manual is the only gearbox option with this model. Now that engine is hooked up to a rather sensitive accelerator. That means you have to adjust your driving style slightly, and I found this car quite easy to stall. On the upside though, you do get very good in-gear acceleration. This car just never feels short of go. Finally, something to get excited about with this car. In fact, it all comes together quite nicely once you're on the move. It may not be anything to look at, but it's the drive that makes this car really good. One of the best things, if not the best thing about the TDI is the ride setup. While the power delivery might take a bit of getting used to and the interior might put you to sleep altogether, the suspension setup is just spot on. And even if you forget for a second that you're driving a sensible diesel, it'll deal with any sort of mild shenanigans and just carry on going. It always feels really, really together. And I guess for the golf-buying public at large, that's what counts. It's just really sensible, this car. It doesn't get excited or shout a lot. All it wants to do is get you from A to B in the most calm and uncomplicated way possible. It's comfortable, it's got enough power for most everyday commutes, and as we'll see shortly, it's packed with safety stuff, just in case other road users aren't concentrating. Generally speaking, diesels are filled up less often and so they cost less to run on a day-to-day basis. And perhaps because of that, I've always seen them as more the sensible choice. And maybe that's part of the reason I don't like them so much. But anyway, if that's what you're after in your next car, you couldn't get more sensible than the TDI. Yep. sensible, and safe. Despite our higher than average time behind the wheel, accidents at RPM are not something we have to deal with too often. But at the end of 2009, while driving another very unlucky Golf 6, it happened. And the first thing I did was grab my cell phone. So instead of traffic lights out, and as I was going, someone didn't see the traffic lights out, and I've just been in a bit of a major shunt, so I'm about to step out the car. You can see airbags around me have gone off. I've got some spectators around me, so let's see the damage. A young lady in a Toyota Tazz hadn't noticed that the lights were out, and also didn't notice me crossing the intersection until it was too late. I can't be 100% sure what speed she was doing, but I reckon she hit me at about 35 k's an hour, enough for the Golf to deploy its side airbags and fire the seatbelt pretensioners. It's not a pleasant experience, even at that low speed, but the airbags did their job in ensuring my head didn't meet the side window. VW's current 2-litre TDI is a willing unit with lots of low-down urge and fairly refined operation. Linked to a 6-speed manual gearbox, progress is brisk with great fuel consumption. The result is a smooth and comfortable all-round cruiser, but the interior, for all its quality, looks bland, and the exterior doesn't fare much better.